Good evening. It's great to be back learning the Gemara Shiur, and we're picking up on Vav Amud Aleph. We're already on 6a Vav Amud Aleph. Here by the small dot, Tanu Rabbanon, we sort of are continuing broadly in the sugya of Baal Ta'acher, that we had a discussion of the ordering of the Yom Tovim, going back to our Mishnah, that Nisan is the Rosh Hashana, the Regalim, and Nisan is the new year for the foot festivals. The nafkamina for that was Baal Ta'acher, the mitzvah, as we'll see today, both the mitzvah and an avera, not to delay one's karbonos and various other gifts to the Beis Hamikdash or obligations one has towards other people, more than 3 Yom Tovim we paskin, and why it's relevant to having a Rosh Hashana is they have to be in order, meaning Pesach is the first, has to be 3 Yom Tovim beginning with Pesach, and therefore that makes Nisan, the month which Pesach falls in, either Rosh Chodesh Nisan according to our own opinion, or actually the first day Pesach, the 15th of Nisan, to be Rosh Hashana, the Regalim, the new year, for months, i.e. that's how we start to count the order of 3 months until you are over, till you've transgressed Baal Ta'acher. So it's a new sugya, so we don't really have to know what's gone on before, and we pick up here on Amud Aleph. Tanu Rabbanon, we've learned Moitzi Fasecha Zu Mitzvahs Aseh. So let's actually go see the pasuk. So we're going to go scroll down the side here to the Torah Hashalem, and here you have the pasuk tells us in Devarim Kaf Gimel, Moitzi Fasecha Tishma, the utterances of your lips you shall guard, Va'afiso, and you shall do, Kasher Nodarta L'Hashem Elokecha, that which you have vowed to the Lord your God, Nudava, a gift, Asher Dibarta Beficha, that you have spoken with your mouth. So that is a pasuk in Devarim Kaf Gimel, which is in Parshas Ki Seitzei, and the top Torah there is teaching us about bringing karbonos. It's about the 2 verses earlier, Kaf Bet, also 22, is Ki Sidor Neder L'Hashem Elokecha, our topic. When you will vow to Hashem, Lo Yisa'acher L'Shalmo, you should not delay to pay. Ki Doroshit V'Shem Hashem Elokecha Mimoch, God will surely seek it out for you, and you'll be a sin if you fail to bring your offerings. And that is a verse, the Lo Yisa'acher verse, which we darshan in the previous stuff concerning the various aspects, the various things and categories you have to be brought within the 3 Yom Tovim time period. And the next verse says, V'chisechta al lindar, and if you will fail to make a vow, meaning if you prevent yourself from making vows to begin with, if you don't make such vows, you'll never come into the issue of having made a vow and then failing to uphold it. And then we have our pasuk is Moitzi Fasecha Tishma, the utterances of your lips you shall guard. And the Gemara explains it as follows: Moitzi Fasecha Tishma Zu Mitzvahs Aseh. This is telling us there's a positive commandment to, I just want to get Rashi. So here, if you follow on the cursor, Moitzi Fasecha Zu Mitzvahs Aseh. This is a positive commandment. Rashi says, Moitzi Fasecha Zu Mitzvahs Aseh. Timisplo Mahachi Ka'amakra. Moitzi Fasecha Kai, meaning Moitzi Fasecha what? Moitzi Fasecha, the utterances of your lips. Those 2 words alone. The Gemara dash and says there's a positive commandment to what? So Rashi already explains Moitzi Fasecha. That it obviously means Moitzi Fasecha, the utterances of your lips. Kai, you have to fulfill the utterances of your lips. Tosfos has a slightly different approach. What does it mean, mitzvahs aseh? Dichsev v'hayotzei mifichem ta'asu. He brings another verse that we see this expression of hayotzei mipicha in our pasuk, Moitzi Fasecha, the utterances of your lips, refers to ta'asu, to a positive action, to a positive commandment. Other Rishonim learn it from other ways, but because all we have in these 2 verses, of these 2 words, Motzei Fasecha, from here we Gemara says it's a positive commandment to bring your karbanah, or to bring these various things. Tishmar, you shall guard. So Motzei Fasecha, the utterances of your lips, Tishmar, you shall guard. Zu mitzvahs lo yisaseh. That's to add on a lo yisaseh, a negative command, a negative mitzvah, as Rashi here says, for lo yisa'acher. That you should not delay. This is famous. There are certain words that the Torah employs, certain catchwords, to guard. Pardon? Someone asked a question?
Sorry, no.
Okay. Hishama, pen, va'al, certain words which have a negative connotation. Like we have Zoches Yom HaShabbos, which is the positive, and Shomrei Yom HaShabbos. In Parashat Hashana, Shomrei is the negatives of Shabbos. Because anywhere Tishmar, Shomrei denotes a negative. So that's similarly here. Moitzis Vasecha, positive, Tishmar, negative. Lo Sa'aseh, mitzvah Lo Sa'aseh. V'asi, so the next word in the pasuk, you shall do, as Hara lebeis din shria asucha. This is a warning, this is an instruction that the Beis Din shall force people to uphold their vows, to people to uphold the obligations they have to bring various karbonos and to give various gifts. Kasher nodarta, the pasuk continues, that which you have vowed, zeneda, that's referring to a vow. Someone says, I vow to bring X carbon to the Bet HaMikdash or X gift. L'Hashem Elokecha, the pasuk continues, the vow that you're bringing to Hashem your God. These are the various sacrifices: a sin offering, a guilt offering, a burnt offering, a peace offering. Why are they LaHashem Elokecha? These are offerings that go to God and they're instructed or demanded by God. Nedava, the pasuk continues. Look back at the pasuk, we said mitzvahs loisas, asay, tishma loisas, asay, vasisa, based in kasher nodat and nedarim, Hashem Elokecha, all these four various aspects of karbonos. Nedava, that's a reference to a nedava. Asher dibarta, says the Gemara, what's asher dibarta? Elu koche bedek habayis, that you have spoken. It's not referring to a carbon, but it's referring to other type of gifts to the Beis HaMikdash. And finally, beficha, that you've spoken in your mouth, zu tzedakah. This is a reference to charity, someone who's either obliged or offered or promised to give charity. Again, there's both a positive and a negative commandment to bring it, and Beis Din can force someone to bring it. So on that last one, this idea that we say v'asisa, there's a Beis Din can force you to do it. V'asisa, that is an instruction as far as Beis Din. And what's included in these categories, these things which have both a positive and negative, and a hazara lebeis din beficha. One of them is tzedakah. The Rishonim ask on this. The Gemara in Bava Basra, the Gemara in Chulin tells us that any time we have a mitzvah and the reward is written in conjunction with the mitzvah, Beis Din there don't have an obligation to go ahead and force people to do it. Seemingly, if the Torah is telling us there's a reward, meaning the reward is the motive, or the reward is people should do it because of the reward, not because Beis Din is on that back. And tzedakah is one of those mitzvahs that have a reward, because the Torah says, because of the charity you'll give, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God will bless you. So there's many approaches. How do we square these two ideas? On the one hand, tzedakah seems to be something, but the reward is written in conjunction. And the Gemara Chunin tells us any mitzvah which has a reward in conjunction with it, that's very few. But mitzvahs that have rewards written explicitly in the Torah, therefore in those cases, Beis Din are not obliged, and Beis Din don't have the role to force you to do it. So I just want to share 4 answers I saw. Answer number 1 is the Re in Tosfos in Bava Basra, that tzedakah also has a negative, has a loisa asay. So when we say a mitzvah that has the reward in conjunction with it, Beis Din don't have to go ahead and force you to do it. That's only when there's a positive commandment. Kabei de savicha maybe. Or shiluach haken. Beis Din has to force you to do shiluach haken, because the mitzvah by shiluach haken is leman yarichin yomecha. You have a lengthening of days, there's a reward written in conjunction with it. However, tzedakah also has a negative commandment. What's the pasuk? It says, do not harden your heart. Do not close your fist. Meaning there's a loisase involved in tzedakah. When it comes to a loisase, then we do say, Beis Din can force you to do it. The Mishnah Lamelech and the Minchas Chinuch, Mishnah Lamelech is a pirush on the Rambam, and the Minchas Chinuch is a pirush on the Chinuch, answer that in truth, the rewards for tzedakah, yes, there's a reward written by tzedakah, but it's not for the act of tzedakah. There's 2 things going on in tzedakah. And I've actually just been reading Rabbi Sachs's To Heal a Fractured World, where he talks a lot at the beginning about the mitzvah of tzedakah from a philosophical, societal point of view. And he elaborates on this point because he refers to as, he's really talking about chesed, not so much tzedakah. He calls it chesed is love as deed. So that's what the Mishnah Melech and Minchas Chinuch are saying, that mitzvah tzedakah, there's two aspects. There's the mitzvah of giving the money, but there's also the ancillary or equally integral part of the mitzvah is to do it in a certain hatavas halev, to do it with an open heart, with a good-heartedness. I was actually learning with the Chabura this morning about mitzvah of kibbud avaim, and there the Shulchan Aruch and Ramah talk about not doing kibbud avaim with a grudge, meaning to provide for your parents, but to do it with like, oh, I can't be bothered, I wish I didn't have to do it, then that might actually take away from and undermine the whole mitzvah of kibbud avaim. Meaning, I think it's true with all mitzvahs being adam lachavera. Meaning, when it comes to a lulav, so I just have to do the act, whether I like it or not, really. When it comes to mitzvahs being adam lachavera, which tzedakah is clearly a part of, the mitzvah, doing the act of the mitzvah, but devoid of the emotional input of the right attitude, could undermine it. The person isn't your lulav, they're not your chesed shel mitzvah. There's no point visiting the sick or visiting someone who's sitting shiva and just doing it because I have to, and I'm doing it with begrudgingly and in a way like I can't be bothered to be here. That clearly takes away from fundamentally for the mitzvah. So the reward is on the emotional aspect, on the attitude, not on the act. So on the act, we would say that Beis Din can force it. Again, I saw this in the Yakaburim and the Masifta, explains that yes, tzedakah is a mitzvah that has the reward by its side, but once there's a mitzvah of tzedakah, there's an ancillary, there's a secondary chiyuv created. Meaning, once you have the mitzvah, so it's a mitzvah, but it creates a shibud moment. It means it creates a lien on my money. It's like I owe the person. It's not just I owe, it's the goodness of my heart. Once there's a mitzvah, once there's an obligation, maybe once I've obliged myself. Oh, someone sends me a campaign message, Kisharon are raising £1 million. I say, okay, I'll give 100 quid. It's no longer now charity. It creates a shibud moment. It creates a sort of it creates a loan of money. It creates a debt of money. And therefore, Beis Din can go literally, they can go into my property and extract the money and get it off me. And obviously, in that case, they can force me. Finally, from Rabbi Chaim Alevi, Rabbi Chaim Brisker, explaining in the Rambam, he explains that tzedakah, the duty of tzedakah, yes, is an individual mitzvah, and yes, that individual mitzvah has a reward linked to it, and that would you would think preclude the Beis Din's role in forcing you to do it. But he explains tzedakah has a secondary or a broader chiyuv. There's the individual mitzvah of tzedakah, and then there's also a chiyuv sort of on Beis Din, representing the community, representing the people, the collective, that they have to ensure that everyone's taken care of. How do you have a situation where tzedakah, yeah, we have to take care of the poor, but it's always, it's in everyone's own remit. In my decision, do I bother to give? Do I want to give to this person? So you can end up happening is that, yes, I have the chiv tzedakah, I might even be giving tzedakah, but poor people are going to be left out. So therefore, Beis Din have the obligation to see it to it that every person who needs tzedakah is allocated the tzedakah. I guess, like any system, we need the central government to collect those taxes and to equally distribute them, in the right way. So to Beis Din, yes, we have a personal chiyuv of tzedakah, but Beis Din has the role to divvy it up. So on the personal mitzvah of tzedakah, yes, it's got a reward written by it. You can't force me on my personal element of tzedakah. But there's a part of tzedakah now, but how it's distributed, that's on Beis Din, and therefore Beis Din will force the person on that element of tzedakah. Okay.
Can I?
A number of interesting approaches.
Can I just interject? With regards to tzedakah, it's a question as to the quantity as well, because after all, I mean, we know that one should give a maaser, sort of 10%, but I mean, to be mekayim the mitzvahs tzedakah, presumably there is no particular amount involved. And if somebody sort of says he's going to give tzedakah, a pound or a penny should do to fulfill that mitzvah. But it's a question of the quantity as well. And Beis Din, when they actually extract with some money, presumably they've got a certain amount in mind and not just a nominal sum.
I hear what you're saying. The truth it would be an interesting share, the mitzvah tzedakah. You're right. Maasa, the giving a tenth is, it's not clear what it is, whether it's darabbanan or only a minhag to give a tenth of one. You're right. The mitzvah tzedakah is far less. We mentioned it once in one of these shiurim when we were discussing the sugya, what it is exactly a year, what the yearly obligation of tzedakah is. It's far less what the yearly obligation of tzedakah is. I'm just trying to remember how it came up and how we linked it to a share we gave. I forget right now where it came up, but yes, it's far less. I'm not sure how that would play in here. Why are you saying that? Once a person's given a minimal tzedakah a year, that's what when the Torah says, you know, the schar b'tzida. I would say the opposite. The more you give over and above your chiyuv, your limited obligation, your strict obligation, that's where you get the reward. And therefore, that's the type of mitzvah that has the reward. You're saying, no, when we say the Torah says you've got this reward, that's on the minimum amount. Anything above the minimum amount already has not got a reward explicitly by it, and it's up to base. I haven't seen that distinction anyway, but it could be that's the case. Let's just see this Tosfos, because this is an interesting topic here where we have the Gemara telling us there's a both from mitzvahs asay, mitzvahs vasecha, you have a positive command, and tishma the negative command. So Tosfos here says tishma zu mitzvahs loisa say. Tosfos says a question. We've learned in the perek hamoisi tefillin, classic case of carrying tefillin on Shabbos, wearing tefillin, and all those questions. The Pasuk says, and we say it, well, we don't, though some people say it when they put on their tefillin, they say all the parshas of tefillin. So there's 4 parshas. 2 we say in Shema, but 2 are in end of parshas Bo. Some have the custom to say after putting on tefillin. It's the laning on Pesach. And it says there by tefillin, that you shall guard this statute, the statute of tefillin, in its right time, from day to day. And from that we learn that tefillin, the mitzvah of tefillin is only during the daytime and not during the nighttime. The Moiki Rabbi Akiva b'Pesach. The Afilu Hochi Pesach zu mitzvahs asay mishum de'Shomrei de'asay asay. Okay, it's a little bit complicated, but nonetheless, we see from that Gemara in the Shomrei. Hold on, let me just make clear on this Tosfos. So we see, so we see from Rabbi, we see from Rabbi Akiva, so Rabbi Akiva says this pasuk is going on Pesach, right? That this is going back to Pesach. So it's at the end of Parshas Bo. We've spoken about Pesach. It actually references the child's question that they're going to ask you. And even though you write this parsha in the Tefillin, Rabbi Akiva understands this pasuk as a Pesach. Why? Because he says it can't be a loisa asay. Because where there's only an essay, when there's only a positive commandment, and the Torah uses the language of Shomrei, that doesn't bring a new loisa asay. That doesn't extend the mitzvah to a loisa asay. All it is it extends the essay. Shomrei of the asay is really an asay. It just strengthens and it backs up the mitzvah's asay. Why is there never a lois asay? Why does the Torah never give a negative commandment when it comes to Inui, when it comes to the affliction of Yom Kippur? So the Gemara says a technical answer, there's no way to technically instruct in a negative way to afflict oneself. It's a positive act to afflict oneself. How would you oblige it negatively? How would you technically write it? So the Gemara says, what do you mean, how do you technically write it? Meaning, the question is, if you just say a lois asay, of inui, of like a lois asay is a negative act, is a not doing something. But inui seems to be an act of affliction. So the Gemara says, has this assumption that there's no way to do it. The Gemara says, get out of the problem by what we just said in Rashi. Shomrei is like a code word. It sounds like an act. Shomrei, go ahead and guard, but it's a reference to a loisase, to a negative command. Mashani Shomrei to ase. It comes back to the same answer. Shomrei. The details here. Let's not go into the details, but what we see from Tosfos in the idea by Tefillin and by the idea by Pesach. Rabbi Kiva says it's Pesach, but Pesach has no loisase. There's no loisase when it comes to Pesach. There's a positive commandment to bring a korban Pesach. There's no like loisase. What would be the loisase of Pesach? And the loisase is don't wear shatnez, don't kill, don't steal. What's the loisase of Pesach? We don't have a loisase. So when the Pasuk says Hishomer, Rabbi Kiva understands it as it doesn't make a loisase. Because anytime he says Hishomer and there's only an asay, it doesn't create a loisase, it just strengthens the asay. And so too by Inui. Had he just said Hishomer, it wouldn't have created a loisase. It would have just strengthened the assay. Because when there's only an assay, Hishomer only strengthens the assay. So that's basically Tosfos' question here. Wait a minute. Maybe here when it says Moitzitz Vasecha Tishmar, there's a positive commandment to go ahead and bring your vows. Maybe Tishmar doesn't mean there's a los assay. That there's now a negative commandment, i.e., if one fails to bring their vows, they've transgressed a mitzvah, they've transgressed an avera. Maybe you could understand a tishmar, the expression of hishomer, even though usually it means a loisase. When there's only a positive commandment, all hishomer does is strengthen the positive commandment. Yeah, everyone's with me. So Tosfos gives an answer. But that basically, no. Here, Tishma would go back 2 verses earlier. You're right. This pasuk says, Moisik Vasecha. It sounds like a positive act. But as I said, 2 verses earlier, you had the pasuk of loisa'ache, of not delaying. So the word here, Tishma, is not going on Moisik Vasecha. It's not Moisik Vasecha asay. Tishma is now a loisa'ache on that asay. Tishma is going back to the loisa'ache 2 verses earlier in that parsha, which is clearly a loisa'ache. Loisa'ache, you shall not delay, i.e., one who delays is a loisa'ache. But that actually segues in very nicely to the next piece in the Gemara. Because if that's true, yeah.
Just a quick check then. Would the Tosfos then say that loisa'ache is another mitzvah? Or would you say the Tishma is part of the Lo Ta'acher commandment?
Okay, you're going to come to the Gemara now, because the Gemara, what you're saying is, as I said, we segue a little bit asking what the Gemara says. So I'm on Mar. With me, it's in the thing. One of the Amoraim says, we just said, the Torah tells us, the utterances of your lips, i.e. all these things, Karbonot, Tzedakah. You'll be noticed, those who were with us in previous Shiurim, we don't include certain things like Masa Behema and Leket, Shechel Peah. The Acharonim, the Rishonim may deal with it, why they're not relevant specifically to this limit here. But either way, Moitzis Vasechel Ibitzah, that you should bring the utterances to your lip, meaning the Nadarim and Karbonis and Tzedakah, they have to bring it. Lamali. Why do I need here the pasuk to tell me there's a positive commandment? We have another pasuk in the Torah. Look here, pasuk Hey. It's a pasuk which is a little bit earlier, talking about the Bet HaMikdash that will be built. I'd actually just be looking at these pasukim. I think we're looking at this pasukim. What does it say? Yeah. It talks about that God's going to choose a place. There's no specific place. Again, Yerushalayim is never mentioned. And you shall bring there your sacrifices. So we already have a pasuk that tells us a positive commandment to bring your sacrifices, to bring your duties to the Bet HaMikdash. So why do we need this pasuk of Moises Vasecha, a positive commandment to fulfill your duties of the Karbanah and vows that you need to give to the Beit HaMikdash? And secondly, Tishma zu mitzvahs lo yisaseh. We just said you've now got a negative commandment to tell me if you fail to bring these Karbanah, Motzin, in Tosfos and the Rishonim, the time frame, Normally, why do I need a pasuk to give me a loisase? As Ari just alluded to, surely we have a pasuk 2 verses earlier that tells us loisachel l'shama. You have all these korbanot, loisachel l'shama. You should not need to bring them. I.e., you have already got a loisase to failure to bring these korbanos. So why do you need both? And thirdly, v'asisa, and you shall do them. What we say is Hazara lebesin sheyasucha. That's a warning, that's an instruction that Beis shall force you to do it. Normally, why do you need such a pasuk? Miyakriv osei nafka. We have the pasuk which tells me miyakriv also. The pasuk of loy sa'acher, that very same pasuk of loy sa'acher, which we'll see it here. Let's find it if you go back a few daf. Sorry, scrolling here. Let's see if we can find these pasukim. Where are these pasukim? Loy sa'acher l'shalmoi. Where do we see that? Where do we see that pasuk? It's the previous stuff still. Hold on, let me just try to find this pasuk for us. Where's Leisach? It must be the previous stuff even. I see this pasuk. Sorry about this. Where is it? No, it's not. It must be. Who's going to bring out the pasuk of Leisach? Let's just find this. Yeah. Yeah. No. So where's this pasuk? Gemara. So Gemara says. Sorry. Why do you need Vasis Hazar the basin? Miyakriv also. You should learn Miyakriv. Now, where's Miyakriv also? I can't see where the pasuk of Miyakriv also. Let me just check this in my Gemara. Miyakriv also enough. Where's the pasuk of Miyakriv also? The pasuk says, okay, it's the pasuk in Vayikra Aleph. Okay, the pasuk says, "Im oilo korbanim min habokar zocha tonim yakrivenu, apesach hama yakriv oitzol tzayno lifnei Hashem." So the pasuk in the beginning of Vayikra talking about the korbanot, they have to bring it to the entrance of the tent of meeting. Yakriv, so you shall bring it lifnei Hashem according to His will before Hashem. So that's already the answer's already there. Okay, so sorry, the pasuk is here. The Yakriv, so it's here. Sorry, look one line later. Nafke the Tanya, Yakriv also, he shall bring it. Sorry, I think Mike was trying to tell me the pasuk again, but involved on our page. Im ola korbanoi min aboka zocha tovim yakrivenu. If there's a burnt offering, it is carbon from the flock, he shall bring it. Yakrivenu, a pesach hamoyed, Yakriv also, you shall bring it lifnei Hashem according to His will before Hashem. The Gemara says, so we see from here Yakriv also, he has to bring it. Meaning they force him, Beis should force him. Bal Korcho. You might think from there's Bal Korcho, Talmulayma Lirtsoinoi, according to his will. So how can it both be forced? How can it be that Beis have to force him? And on the other hand, there has to be Lirtsoino, according to his will. How do you square those two? So what we say, no, based on force him, based on force him, until the individual says, I want to bring it voluntarily, I'm bringing it out of my own volition. So again, we have the question is, why do we need these two pasukim? If we already know from Yaakov also that we already have a drasha that we a basin force him to bring a carbon. So why do we need here as horror the basin sheyasucha that the person should bring it? So again, the Gemara's question, as Ari alluded to, was why do we need this whole drasha of the assay, the lois assay basin? We know all these halachas already. Let's just see the Tosfos for today. Yaakov Melamed shekofan also. He shall bring it. Melamed that teaches us shekofan also that based in force him. Kol mitzvahs asay nami koifin. The truth is, on all positive commandments, based in force the person. You have to force a person to do a mitzvah, even if it comes to beating him to death. That's how far Basin have got the power to force someone to do a mitzvah. So why do I need a pasuk at all here? I know anyway that mitzvahs, when it comes to mitzvahs, Basin can force a person based on the power, and not only, but should force people to keep the mitzvahs. So why do I need a special drasha here to tell me when it comes to these karbonos, when it comes to these obligations, one has to Basin as our other Basin Basin to force. We anyway know Basin to force the person to do it. I might have thought you don't force the person here, because when it comes to karbonos, we have the concept they have to be lirtzono, according to his will. He has to do it voluntarily, volitionally. Okay, so that's the answer. Meaning, why do you need a special drasha that Basin tells the guy to do it, forces the guy to do it? Because with karbonos, there's the added element of lirtzono, of needing to do it of his own volition. The truth is, all mitzvahs, when makinoi say, actually, all mitzvahs, we force him to do it until he says Reitzani, until he says I want to do it. You know, there's no point basing literally forcing the guy to shake a lulav. There's no value in the shaking of the lulav. It's about korchav, it's honest. He's literally got a gun to his head. Meaning Basin also koven is a Basin have to force him whatever means possible until he gets to the point where he wants to do it. Nonetheless, the Acharonim explain maybe when it comes to a korban, you even need a higher level. Shomrei tells me not only does he want to do it, is he okay with it? It's not like being forced, but Shomrei really has to be his own will. And now they have to push him to a point that he now really wants to do it. It's like the Rambam writes by Gerushin, right? You force the guy to give a get, even though a get cannot be bal korcho. A person who's forced to give a get, it's not a valid get. So how can Basin force the guy? It's an interesting sugya, nowadays with Aguna and the powers of base and what they can do to force a person to give a get or the prenup. These are some of the halachic issues that come with the prenup. It was called the get ma'usa. Does a prenup render the get to be a forced get? And a forced get isn't a good get. So the Rambam famously writes, you hit the guy until he says Reitzani, and everyone explains, what does it mean? You hit the guy until he says, I want to do it. You're hitting him, so he doesn't really want to do it. He's only saying yes because you're hitting him, and now you're hitting him, and the yes is only a forced yes. It's not really a get which is given on his own volition. So everyone explains that really, deep down, the person wants to do the right thing. The man doesn't really want to hold his wife to ransom to make her an aguna. A Jewish person really wants to fulfill the mitzvahs. Therefore, based on a sort of, they're by hitting the person, they're really just shedding him of his negativity, of his unwillingness. But really, they'll get him to a point that he realizes it with himself. Or even when he says yes, that's the real me speaking. It's not a forced thing. By the way, the Aruch LaNer asks a very interesting question on the Tosfos here, because Aruch LaNer points out that this mitzvah, this idea of based on koifinosa, based on force a person, is only when it's purely a mitzvah's assay, when it's a positive commandment. Meaning, there's no punishment in the Torah connected to it. There's just a positive commandment. So nowadays we don't have these powers, but there was once a time that based on their powers to force people to do the mitzvahs. I guess like nowadays governments have ways to force people to do. They have ways to force you to pay tax. They have ways to force you not just to. Government doesn't just have penalties for violations of law. They also have ways to force you to fulfill your obligations towards the government. But the Aruch LaNer points out we don't say that when there's a loisa assay involved. As soon as there's a loisa assay, then we never say there's the basin can be like it. And therefore the Aruch LaNer also asks on this Tosfos, Here, that's the whole drasha here, is that by here there's not just a assay, it's not Moses Masecha, but there's also the Tishma, there's the Loisa assay element, it's the whole drasha. So once there's an essay and a Loisa assay, I don't understand how Tosfos' question begins. Now, surely you're now covered by the general rule of Makinois Hashem that basin can force a person. According to Archon there, very beautifully, the Gemara needs a specific drasha here to tell me that basin can force you. Because it's unlike every other mitzvah's assay where basin can generally force you. Here, since there's the lois assay, basin specifically cannot force you, and therefore you need this drasha. Just to answer the Gemara's question, the Gemara says, I don't understand why we need this whole drasha to begin with. We know all these halachas, that there's a positive and there's a negative, and that there's basin from these other pasukim. Answers the Gemara, I'll tell you why. There's two distinct scenarios that can go on here. There's one scenario, the person says, I'm not even separating out. I'm refusing to even begin the process of my obligations to do towards the Beis HaMikdash. Meaning, he says, I'm not willing to separate out the carbon. I'm not giving my carbon chatas. I'm not even, I'm not even pledging this as a neder. I'm not even, saying I'll give X amount of tzedakah. That's one case. The other case is the pastor says, okay, I need to bring the carbon chatat. I'm happy. I'll go into my flock. I'll choose an animal to bring. But I'm not going to bring it to the Beis HaMikdash. The tzricha, we need both. Now we need two pasukim. We need a mitzvah assay and loisa assay and azor the based on each scenario, as the Gemara is going to explain. Had we had one pasuk, which would have been interpreted towards the scenario which was the Amar V'lei Afrish, that he says, I'm not even going to separate the carbon. Then we have the pasuk because he's not fulfilling his obligation. Sorry, have I got the right thing? Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Sorry. He hasn't fulfilled his obligation. Let's say the scenario, the person says, okay, I'm over carbon. I owe money to tzedakah. I'll put the money aside. Or I will put the carbon aside, but I'm not bringing it to the Beis HaMikdash. I might have had the assumption, all the while, he separated it out. It's the Beit Gaza, literally, it's in the storehouse. It belongs to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Meaning, okay, you haven't fulfilled the obligation. You haven't fully gone ahead and brought the carbon. You haven't gone ahead and brought your neder, your nadab. You haven't given the tzedakah. But the fact you separated it out, the fact you've set it aside, the fact you're not going to use it for everything else, maybe there's no mitzvahs assay, there's no lois assay, there's no lois acher here anymore. Basin can't go ahead and force you. In the end of the day, the person's gone ahead and taken the first step. That's why I need the pasuk to tell me no. Even in a case where you've gone ahead and you've separated out the carbon, you've gone ahead and taken the first step. If you fail to go and then go and bring it, go and actually offer it up in the Beis HaMikdash, you're still falling short of the lois assay, and the assay and Basin can go ahead and force you. And on the other flip side, where are we? With my Kassan, had we had one pasuk, I would have explained it as afish v'lo akriv. It's talking about the case where the person has separated out the carbon but never brought it. To kamashile gabe. I would say, well, in that instance, well, he's transgressing something. He's only done half the thing. He's already started the mitzvah and he's not really done the whole thing. He's got a carbon waiting there. The head dish is sitting in his field, and he's not bringing it to the Beis HaMikdash. That's when we have an assay. That's when we have a lois assay, a lois acher. Aval amav v'lo yafresh. The guy says, I'm not even going to separate the carbon. I'm not even going to offer. I'm not even going to make that vow to begin with. I'll say, well, it's nothing. In law, what's called, it's just puff. It's what's the word? It's just advertising puff. Meaning, he's just saying words. He's saying, okay, I'm good. I know I have to bring a chatos, but I don't want to bring one. I know I have to give tzedakah, but I don't want to do it. In that case, we'll say nothing's begun. The ball hasn't been begun rolling, and therefore there's no assay, there's no lois assay, there's no lois acher, and therefore tzaricha I need both. I need both two Pesukim. And some of the Acharonim tried to link up these two scenarios to the two Pesukim. What are the two scenarios? The guy's gone ahead and said, yes, I identified my carbon for the Neder. I've made the vow. I said this carbon's going to be the Neder. I know I'm Chai v'chatos and Oilo Shloim, and these carbonas are going to be the ones I'm going to bring. But he fails to bring it. We need a pasuk to tell me in that case, even though you've done a little bit, but it's not enough, or in the other way of seeing it, you've done a bit now, you better finish it. You need one pasuk for that. And the other scenarios, the guy says, I know I'm Chai v'chatos. I know I have to bring a chatos. I know I should make an Eidah. I know I should give tzedakah, but I'm not doing it. I'm not separating the animal. And in that case, we need a pasuk. Either to tell me that's not good enough. You have to do more. You actually have to go ahead and bring it, or it's nothing. You might think it's nothing. But we need the pasuk to tell me no. Even though it could be seen as having done nothing, you're still chayiv, and you'll be still chayiv and lo yisacher, even if you fail to even identify the carbon to begin with. I think we'll stop here for the moment.